So we've obviously got Maurizio Lara versus Josh Warrington tonight, guys, on DAZN. For me, this is going to be their first UK show where I can actually see what they can do. I'm going to put Fight Camp aside, not mainly because it was obviously garbage, but you know, it was in Eddie Hearn's back garden. I want to see what DAZN can do at a proper venue with the fans. I want to see what the production looks like, see if the team work any better together, see whether it's a bit more fluid. Obviously, I've got issues with the presenting and some of the commentary team, but I'm going to give DAZN a couple months to see what they can do. Obviously, I know there's been a bit of a fallout this week with the subscription going up to $7.99. I understand why a lot of people have left. I do get it. But it is about consistency for me. Now, the card tonight, obviously, is a better card than what we've had at Fight Camp. I wouldn't say it's an amazing card. You know, I'm looking through the list, so there's obviously Ben versus Granados, which is meant to be at Fight Camp 1. You've got Katie Taylor versus Jennifer Han. So there's some good fights here, but obviously the main one, obviously we've got Warrington Lara. Now, I saw the weigh-in yesterday. I have concerns that Warrington at the moment does seem way too emotionally involved in this fight. Now, I understand that he would be to a degree, in the sense of he got knocked out in the last fight, and a lot of people consider his career to be on the line for this fight. But him getting emotional like that, getting in Maurizio Lara's face, that is all playing into Lara's hands. That's exactly what Lara wants to see. Josh Warrington needs to box in this fight, and he needs to box really well. He cannot go in the trenches with this guy and start having a bar brawl, because quite simply, he will get knocked out again. He needs to box, he needs to work behind his jab. When he comes in to engage, he needs to put some quick combinations together, score some points, and get out of dodge. Just look good in front of the judges. Punch and move, punch and move. That's all he needs to do. I know it may not look exciting, but for me, he needs to take this fight to 12 rounds and win on points. Maurizio Lara is not coming here to go to 12 rounds. So if Warrington tries to engage, he's only going to make Lara's night even easier than what Lara perceives it to be already, okay? So a lot on the line here for Warrington, a lot more. All the pressure on Warrington again, 100%. No doubt in my mind. So, look, if he loses, what next? Well, look, I think it's the manner of the loss, isn't it? I mean, Warrington has said himself that if he can't win the rematch, he'll retire. From my point of view, can he still box after this fight if he loses? He can. There are still some domestic level fights that Warrington can go into. But again, it's the manner of the loss. If he gets himself knocked out again or sparked out on the canvas, like the first fight, then I think he should retire. I really do. But like I said, I'll be cheering for Warrington. I hope he does the job. But like I said, he just needs to box smart. Really does need to box smart. I don't see him. He doesn't have the power to stop Lara. Lara punches a hell of a lot harder. We all know that. So he's just got to be smart. Just look good in front of the judges. Get the points win and move on. Because if he gets the win tonight, then he's still in that mix. He still has the chance to go on and fight for a world title in the future. He's still a young man. He's not got too many miles on the clock. But like I said, that first Warrington fight, he did take some damage, and he was speaking very, very poorly after that first fight. He seems to have recovered slightly, which is good. But like I said, he can't afford to take too much damage in this fight if he wants to carry on boxing for another 2 to 3 years. Just my opinion. I'm not really going to go into too much with regards to the undercard. Obviously, like I said, Katie Taylor and Conor Benn are fighting on this one. Look, guys, Katie Taylor and Conor Benn are not losing these fights tonight, okay? There's really no need to do too much analysis on it. Obviously, you got Ebony Bridges and Hopi Price fighting again. They were literally just out in Fight Camp. So Uncle Eddie clearly does have his favourites over there at Matchroom. So in the case of Bridges, if you've got a big enough mouth and something else, then you're going to get the fights. We are in a views business, guys. This is all about views. If you think boxing is about talent anymore, then you are completely deluded, okay? And there is no help for you, my friend. So, once you understand that, and you're almost content with that. You don't actually get as wound up. Like, I get wound up all the time in boxing that the big fights aren't happening, but once you understand why they're not happening, and it's purely a views and numbers business, you can accept it slightly more, because that way, at least that way, you don't get surprised now. You don't get too shocked, because you know what's going to happen. Like, you know certain fights aren't going to happen, or you know why a certain fighter is getting out more than other fighters. You know, we've seen, obviously, people move out of Eddie Hearn's stable and jump back over to Sky and Boxer. So you've got to do what you've got to do. If you're not getting the fights, you have to move. There is no loyalty. You have to be the driving force in your own future, and I think a lot of fighters are understanding that. And hopefully, it makes them come out their shell more, because there's a lot of skilled fighters out there that just don't have the personality, I'm afraid, to promote themselves. And that's what you've got to do. Boxing is the one sport where you've got to pay a promoter, but you've still got to be your best promoter as well. You've got to be the biggest mouthpiece. You can't just rely on Uncle Eddie or Bricktop doing all the talking for you. The fans need to see someone there. They need to see you engage with them. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying it's boxing, okay? But look, I'm going off topic way too much here. Let me know your comments down below, who you've got for tonight. Do you see any other upsets at all? Like I said, Lara is the favourite going into this, no doubt about it. But like I said, Warrington needs to box smart. If he boxes smart, he can take this to 12 rounds and he can get the win. If not, he's getting knocked out. Let me know. Cheers.